She dominated the movie theaters. She done broke Ticketmaster. She even freaking took over sports. If nothing else comes from this video, just know that you're in a safe space where you finally don't have to hear anything about Taylor Swift. Wait. All right, welcome to Tait's Take. If you're new here, today we're breaking down my top 10 movie picks of 2023. If that's something you're into, hit that subscribe button for your boy. For my regular Taste Takers, let's see who's at 1 for 23. Get it? Like 1, 2, 3. Never mind. I had like 8 of those jokes, and that's what I landed on. It was the best of the 8. Okay, we have now reached year number 4 of these top 10 lists, but some of you guys are new. So if you're new, we just got to cover a little housekeeping. Obviously, this is just my personal list of 10 movies that I thought were my favorites of the year. I'm not saying these are the best 10 movies. I'm not saying these movies are the best movies ever made. I'm just saying that they're fire. And if you don't think that they're fire, obviously just rewatch them. I'm just kidding. I'm just saying your picks might not be my picks. Also, I didn't see every damn movie, so just relax, Color Purple. I didn't get around to it. I was at a family barbecue. Okay. Housekeeping is complete. The house is now kept. And before we get into the top 10, we of course have to talk about some honorable mentions. This was a very hard list to make this year. Some years are easier than others for me, but this was tough. If I could have like 10 honorable mentions, I would. I'm not gonna do 10 honorable mentions, but I'm just gonna do 4, and I'm gonna cheat. And these honorable mentions are in no particular order. None of them are more honorable than the next. They all carry great honor. Okay, the first cheat on my honorable mentions list is for the Super Mario Bros. Movie and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. And I'm not gonna hold you. I literally just said none of them are more honorable than the next, but the Turtles are more honorable than Mario Bros., but whatever. But yeah, both of these movies are like super nostalgic, childhood memory type things. I never had a Nintendo growing up. I was a Sega household, but we all know Mario. And even as a Sega man, I can say that Super Mario Bros. Movie is better than both Sonic movies. Just a real nice time at the movies, and it should make everyone's list if for no other reason than the fact that it brought us peaches, 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 peaches. Yeah, and you know, a lot of experts have said that that's the best song from a movie since they're experts. All right, on to the Turtles. To know me is to know the love I have for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The 1990 movie was the first movie I ever saw in the movie theaters, so it just carries a special place in my heart. I always grow up loving the Turtles. We've had several different versions of Turtles movies, of course, but when I heard Seth Rogen's name attached to it, I had complete faith in him. Growing up, Raph was always my favorite turtle. Then as I got a little older, Mikey started to like creep up in the rankings. But in Mutant Mayhem, by far, Donnie was my favorite. So go check those 2 movies out if you haven't already. Yeah. The next cheat I have on my honorable mention list is for Blackberry and the Beanie Bubble. 2 true stories about 2 companies' crazy rise and crazy fall. If you watch a lot of these top 10 lists, you will see Blackberry on a good amount of lists. People seem to like this movie. You will probably not see the Beanie Bubble on anybody's list. I might be the only person that watched it. And yes, it's about Beanie Babies. Okay, last 2 movies here, and they're not cheats. First, you are so not invited to my bat mitzvah. Y'all didn't watch that one? All right, everybody relax. It's Adam Sandler. Of course, it's supposed to be good. And this is coming off Adam Sandler's Netflix movie from last year, which was Hustle. And that also made my top 10 list. So this dude and Netflix got a nice thing going. It's just a story about his daughter getting ready for her bat mitzvah. And what's cool about this movie is that it stars his real family. So it's like his real wife and real 2 daughters. Just a quality Netflix movie here, and one of the funniest overall movies of the year. I wanted to shout out like Theater Camp and Bottoms. I think Theater Camp is better than Bottoms. But if I'm picking out of those 3, what's the funniest one? I think it's You Were So Not Invited to My Bar Mitzvah. So if you haven't seen it, it's like a good streaming movie to just throw on if you're just looking for something light and funny and cool. Okay, last one, but you gotta get serious now. Killers of the Flower Moon. You know we love our true stories here at Tait's Take, and we love our historical movies. Just the super heavy true story about the slaughter of the Osage Nation. This story pretty much created the FBI. But honestly though, and let me get this straight. Filthy rich Native Americans living amongst poor whites start getting killed off, and y'all are calling it a mystery? Yeah. I wonder what happened. It's like an easy mystery. I wonder who did it. It could be anybody. But have you looked into the poor whites? This is serious. Anyway, per usual, Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio are delivering legend-level performances, obviously. However, I think it's Lily Gladstone that carries this movie. So I hope she gets her flowers and that you guys go and check this movie out if you haven't already seen it. Also, people be trying to say that racist tragedies like this took place so long ago. But, for example, the guy that Leonardo DiCaprio plays, the dude Ernest Burkhart, that guy in real life died in my lifetime. Like, that dude saw Thriller. That's crazy. Okay, that's it. Number 10, The Burial. This is a movie that I first saw back in September at the Toronto International Film Festival, and I immediately fell in love with it. As I've said a million times already, we love a true story here at Tait's Take. But we also love a true story, courtroom drama, true story with comedy in it. 2023 and Jamie Foxx had a very strange relationship, but it was just good to see him here thriving alongside Tommy Lee Jones. Jamie Foxx plays Willie Green, who's like this flashy, high-powered attorney, and he's defending a dude named Jeremiah O'Keefe, who's played by Tommy Lee Jones, and he like runs a whole bunch of funeral homes. It's been passed down in his family through generations, and he just got ripped off by a billionaire named Raymond Loewen. And this is all a true story that took place in the 90s. And then also, like, side note, sometimes when we see like throwback movies, it's like the 60s and the 70s, but like maybe we're just getting older now, but it's just cool to see the 90s portrayed in a movie, and you know, that's just a thing. And funny enough, speaking of the 90s, the script for this movie has been floating around since the late 90s. I don't know if you guys knew, but it's about to be 2024. Hollywood is crazy. Anyway, the attorney that Jamie Foxx is going against is named Mame Downs, and she's played by Jurnee Smollett. Jurnee eats this role, like the whole plate. What'd the kids say? Left no crumbs? It was no crumbs. But what's interesting is that the real attorneys were all men in the story, but the director, Maggie Betts, was like, no. We're gonna have a strong, powerful black woman as the lead attorney. So, good choice. Another random thing I like is courtroom dramas where the attorneys don't hate each other. Obviously, they both want to win, but when you have movies like this, it shows what I would imagine trial work is like in real life most of the time, where it's really about the gamesmanship and strategy of winning the trial. And then at the end of the day, hopefully sportsmanship, because in this movie, Jamie Foxx and Jurnee have like a good chemistry. And it's not like romantic or anything, but it's like they're battling each other. And then at the end of it all, they're cool. And it's like good to see like two powerful black attorneys like not tearing each other down. It's just, it's a healthy relationship, I would say. Number 9, They Cloned Tyrone. This movie will probably not be on a lot of people's list, but you probably just forgot about it. This is just an all-around good movie. Very original, very unique. First-time director Joel Taylor gets an all-star cast and does not waste the moment. Easily my favorite Netflix movie of the year. And at number 9, we got Jamie Foxx twice in a row. This man is killing this list. He's really a national treasure. Needs to be protected at all costs. So if you see Jamie Foxx out there, just tell him to relax. We need you for another 40 years. Anyway, They Clone Tyrone. Super creative, sci-fi, mystery, comedy. It has all the things. And 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, so you don't gotta take my word for it. Number 8, Barbie. I don't know what I thought this movie was gonna be about before it came out, but I knew I was gonna watch it because Margot Robbie. But when that thing started playing, I was like, all right. I see what's being done here. I love seeing all the different Barbies, especially presidential Barbie and like weird Barbie. But I think it's a huge miss to not have Nicki Minaj playing pop star Barbie. And I hope it was because of a scheduling conflict and that the writers didn't think to throw this cameo in. I know she's on the soundtrack, and I know this is not important for me to still be talking about, but I thought it would be cool. This is just a really smart movie that I don't think a lot of people expected. Also, high-key, the chances that I'm gonna like a movie increase by approximately 86% when I know that it's gonna make conservatives mad, so I like this one. Number 7, Across the Spider-Verse. Now, to say that 2023 has been a challenging year for superhero movies would be a gross understatement. From Shazam 2 to Quantumania to freaking Aquaman 2, which may have been the worst one of all. 2023 was simply a mess for my beloved comic book movies. But smack dab in the middle of all that junk was my man Miles Morales. You could always count on Miles to freaking save the day. I love the first movie. We all love the first movie. And this one is just as good. Is it better? I don't know. Do y'all like this one better than the first one? Of course, there's a weird element to it because this is only one half of a 2-part movie thing. So like, I'm sure it'll end well and all that stuff, but it's at 7 because it's not done yet. But it's fucking fire. Oops. Number 6, Rye Lane. Every year, my list has a sleeper pick. This is this year's sleeper pick. Rye Lane is a movie that I'm sure most of you haven't seen or even heard of. This is a British rom-com that debuted this year at Sundance. You can find it on Hulu now, I believe, but it stars Vivian Oparah and David Johnson, who you may know if you watch Industry on HBO. And if you don't watch Industry on HBO, why do you hate yourself? Just kidding. But yeah, basically it's about a guy and a girl. They both are just coming off recent breakups. They run into each other and meet randomly at an art gallery. And the rest of the movie is just them spending the rest of the day together, hanging out, getting to know each other. That's it. It's a super simple plot, super quick movie, but sometimes that's all you need. It's well written, it's funny, it's edited in a cool way, and it's shot in those ways that make black people look really good. Just hear me out. You know how they say like in Insecure, they got people that know how to shoot black people? They must have got the Insecure people because they're making the black people in Rye Lane quite literally glow. So check Rye Lane out. I challenge you to not like that movie. And yeah, people always be trying to say we don't get no black love stories in the movies, but maybe I just don't be watching them. Number 5, Creed 3. Listen, this ain't no YouTube channel about morality. Creed 3 was fire and I'm standing on that. All right, get serious. Michael B. Jordan directing his first movie. Great job, sir. Keeping the franchise alive. I think all the Creeds are good. I like Rocky as a franchise overall, but I just think it's impressive to have like 3 good movies. It's not easy to make a strong trilogy. So, good on you. And Jonathan Majors is the best part of this movie. On a serious note, it is very unfortunate that he had such a less than stellar year since this movie came out. I hate to hear about these transgressions, but I truly believe that people are much more than their worst mistakes. I'm not here to get into the details of the case, and this is not financial advice or whatever I'm supposed to say, And cancel me if you want, but if you ask me. Anyway, Creed 3 was fire. And I know there was some static with Stallone not being in this one, but it would have been a perfect movie if you just had that Rocky cameo when Adonis was training to get back in the ring. Like just grow up, people. You're messing up movies. Number 4, Past Lives. This is not a surprise pick. If people have seen this movie and they make YouTube videos with their top 10 movies of the year, probably 11 times out of 10, Past Lives will make their list. This is my no-brainer pick of the season. This is another classic from A24, and some people are even calling it a perfect movie. If you haven't seen it, well, like, one, go see it. But this is a movie written and directed by a woman named Celine Song. This is like her feature directorial debut. And it's about a boy named Hae-sung and a girl named Nora. They're best friends growing up in South Korea. Nora and her family pick up and move to Canada. So the movie kind of shows how her life path looks and how his life path looks. And it kind of ends at present day where Nora's living in New York with her American husband and Hae-sung is coming to visit her for a week. And it's this whole like one that got away meets this multiverse of what would our lives have looked like if I didn't move or we got together later. What would it be like? And what's really cool about this movie is that it's kind of based on the director's real life because she was at a table sitting in between her American husband and Korean best friend from childhood. If you haven't seen it, like I said, go see it. Just be prepared to think about all the what ifs in your life. And don't text them. Or maybe text them. Okay, bye. Number 3, Air. How could I have a 2023 list without talking about Michael Jordan? Because of 23? Y'all know the slogan over here at Tait's Take, ain't no story like a true story. And this is one of the greatest sports stories of all time. It's something personal to me about basketball and the culture that pushes this true story company movie above BlackBerry and the Beanie Bubble. And this is coming from one of the all-time Michael Jordan haters. And I'm not a hater because I'm a hater. I'm a hater because I'm a Knicks fan, bro. Like, that dude ruined my childhood. It's just such a good movie that puts a lot of the necessary focus around Jordan's mom, Dolores Jordan, to not only show that she was like the rock of the family, but she was the brains of the operation, as well as like the #1 believer in what her son could be. It's one thing to believe in your kid. If you're a parent, you're supposed to believe in your kid, but it's a whole nother thing to just completely prophesize such elite, once in a generation talent that is Michael Jordan. I loved seeing Chris Tucker back shining. I always like seeing Jason Bateman. Plus you get the dynamic duo of Matt and Ben. You just can't go wrong. It's a real good story about Nike. It's kind of like when I hear stories about Apple. People today don't really understand that Apple was not always the biggest company in the history of the world. Like, they had to struggle to get started too. And Nike's the same way. Nike's a household name. Like, it's the #1 shoe brand on the planet, but it once was not that. And it's about people taking a bet on the little guy. I do have one bone to pick with this movie, and if anybody was a part of the filmmaking, I want you to listen up real close. Just tell me how you start your movie with a 1984 montage that doesn't include the other MJ. No, it's cool, There's no beef, it's nothing, it's no problem. But I just could have sworn that in 1984, Michael Jackson broke the records for Grammys in a night. Like, how you don't put that in there? You left it out. Maybe there's a world where getting that footage is not cheap and it's just, you could just get other pop culture moments in 1984. And maybe that's the reason. But if it's not, somebody got some explaining to do. Air So Fire though, but that was crazy to like not do that. Anyway, last thing I'll say is that I thought it was a cool choice to not have Michael Jordan really be in the movie portrayed by an actor. They had my dog pretty much like the babysitter of the Muppets. But when they ask Matt and Ben why they made that decision, they'll tell you there's only one Michael Jordan. Number 2, American Fiction. Another fire movie that I saw this year at Toronto at the film festival. Now, 2023 was a fire year for some big name directors. You got the Scorseses and the Christopher Nolans, but what I thought was real cool about this year of movies is that there's been some fire movies by first time directors, and here's another entry with Cord Jefferson and American Fiction. I hate that this movie didn't get a bigger release, and there's still a lot of cities in the US where you can't see this movie. But it won the People's Choice Award at TIFF for good reason. Jeffrey Wright, Tracy Ellis Ross, Sterling K. Brown, Erica Alexander, John Ortiz, Adam Brody, Leslie Uggams. This cast is super tough. I love my satire movies. We're taking a serious topic and we're making it funny. Sign me up any day of the week. And just like past lives, American Fiction is getting a lot of awards buzz. And I hope that they're able to take some home because both of these movies deserve it.
I am finding being alive fascinating.
Number 1, Poor Things. Yeah, I know. Me neither. But here we are. And at the freaking buzzer too. I think a lot of people say that this is a love it or hate it movie, but we loved it over here. I remember looking into this movie a couple months ago when people were, giving all this Emma Stone praise for her performance, I guess because it debuted at Venice Film Festival. And I'm watching the trailer like, what the hell even is this? But I went to see it and pretty quickly I knew it would make this list. Number 1 though, that's Showbiz, baby. It's based on a 1992 book that Yorgos, the director, has turned into this visual spectacle. And the book synopsis is out there, but essentially if you haven't seen this movie, it's as weird as it sounds. This woman dies and she was pregnant. So this mad scientist finds her body, brings it to his lab, takes the baby's brain out and puts it into the mom's body. So this grown woman is now basically born again as a baby in an adult body, and she kind of just progresses through life and grows up learning about the world all over again as a new person. Get it? I didn't think I knew Yorgos' work, but he worked with Emma Stone on The Favorite, and I love that movie. I actually own that movie, so it's all making sense. And Emma Stone does deserve all the praise she's getting for her performance. She's basically playing like at least 3 different people in one movie. It's like Bella Baxter as basically an infant, a young adult, and then her final form of just kind of figuring out the world and how it works. And a little bonus of seeing Mark Ruffalo in a role like this, which I don't think he's ever played. He's not the Hulk no more. It's like, it's tough to break out of a mold like that, and with this, I think he did it. This movie is what they say it is. It is wild, it is raunchy, it is crazy, but it's also smart, and we love a smart movie over here. And it looks cool. It's just shot in a cool way. The idea is that we're watching the movie, seeing the world how Bella sees it. I had a feeling that reviews for this movie would be all over the place, and they were. Not everybody's gonna have this as their number 1. It's gonna be on a lot of people's lists, but for example, like the New York Times wrote, "It isn't long into Poor Things that you start to feel as if you were being bullied into admiring a movie that's so deeply self-satisfied there really isn't room for the two of you." Well, I don't know what they're talking about, but I did say that this was a love it or hate it movie, and I loved it. And I feel like they definitely did leave room for me. And that's the list. 2023 had so many good movies. I'm very excited to hear what your top 10 movies are. If you have time to put that in the comments. I'm excited to hear whether you agree with my list. If there's something that didn't make my list that you think I must not have seen it, because if I would have seen it, it would have made the list. Put that in the comments. I wanna read all that stuff. And there's a lot of movies that I saw at the film festival, especially that won't come out until next year, that I'm sure will make next year's list already. I got a list for next year already. I'm in the future. I have to wrap this video up the only way I know how, and that is in thanks. I was rewatching last year's top 10 video, and at the end of the video, I said, you know, we're 100 away from 7,000 subscribers. Right now, we're 100 subscribers away from 17,000, and that's because you guys are like locked into this journey with me for Tait's Take. And this year was the craziest year for like growth of the channel. This was my first year going to a film festival as a journalist, as press. And it's for reasons like this, because you guys have given me a following and want to hear what I have to say about these movies, these TV shows. And it's very much appreciated. I give you my commitment to continue doing this. And it's a very cliche thing to say, like, next year is going to be the year. But I do truly believe that next year will be a real cool year for the channel. And I hope that you guys stick around for what we can do next year. I think it'll be real cool. I hope you enjoy the video. And I hope you continue to watch my stuff. But it's all very much appreciated. As always, thanks for checking out Tait's Take. If you enjoy the video, make sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. Thanks for the time, y'all. Peace. I'm not gonna hold you like Chevalier. I needed that on the list. There's just not enough spots for all these movies. Oppenheimer was good. Tough Cut. House Party.